Hello there and welcome once again to Red Gaming Tech, another gaming news video. My name is Marta. Today is the 14th of May and I have some news for you concerning ZombiU. As we do have confirmation that a prototype for a ZombiU sequel is being worked on, and this comes to us via Twitter of Jean-Philippe Corot, who is of course creative director at ZombiU studio Ubisoft at Montpellier, and he has said that this work on the sequel is already underway, but unfortunately could not give any more details. Now, what's also interesting is that ZombiU producer Guillaume Brunner said in January that Ubisoft did consider adding co-op play to ZombiU, but unfortunately had to leave it on the drawing board due to time constraints. However, were Ubisoft to release DLC for the game or make future installments, he did say that how to bring cooperative experience and still keep fear and tension is a question we would love to address. He also added, "We did not spend a lot of time contemplating online multiplayer as we had other issues to address. In our most exciting dreams, we would like to create an online experience where players never quite know where they stand between co-op and player versus player. Doubt is a great nest for tension and fear." And I have to say, I agree with that. That sounds like a really, really interesting idea. And to be honest with you, I'm glad that ZombiU did well enough despite the Wii U's problems to warrant a sequel. Because despite, by many accounts, the game being a little on the short side, it was a very good game indeed, and one of the better AAA horror games we've seen in a long, long time. My only concern is that a sequel or any future DLC may go down the wrong path that many AAA horror games seem to go down these days, which is of course the path of the action horror, where you're some sort of John Rambo type character, and that's not really what we want. Looking at the feedback on the game, a lot of people are saying that it was a proper survival horror game. And yeah, and the best zombie survival game available. So, some quite high praise here actually, and I did like ZombiU despite its various problems, and I feel like with the proper time and care, it could become something even better, and then it already was, and it already was a very good game, of course. So, it's going to be rather interesting to see what happens with the title. As long as it sticks to its survival horror roots, I think it'll be just fine. I like the idea of that co-op play there, where you're never quite sure if the other players are on your side or working against you. I think that'd be rather interesting and add a unique feeling of tension that we wouldn't normally see in a horror game. I don't think co-op really works in horror games. I've said this before on a separate video. I did a whole video on this topic quite some time ago actually. I don't even know how long ago that was. And my opinion is that it's very, very difficult for co-op where you're playing with an actual person on the other side rather than, say, having an AI partner, is extremely hard to pull off and still keep the same amount of fear. And to be honest, even having an AI partner is something that I personally would not have in my horror game if I were to make one. The feeling of loneliness is one that the zombie survival horror genre in particular thrives on. The feeling of you being one of the very few people left in a world of monsters is one that you can't have if there's someone standing right next to you who's working with you to survive. So if they do bring this into play, I hope that they stick to that plan, or some other plan that isn't just straight up co-op, because I don't think that would work too well for this particular game, but of course that's just my opinion. Would be curious to see your guys' opinion as always. I do want to hear from you and see what you have to say. You do know what I think, but what do you think? What would you like to see for ZombiU, or just survival horror in general? Be curious to know your thoughts on that one. Anyway, that's me done for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.